I have been playing Elite for a very long time. I mean, this is a game that I've been playing since the release, and the game has gone through a lot of different phases. It has gone through a lot of different updates, and it has really gotten better over time. But there are a few things that I want to mention and that I want to talk about because even though the answer to the question stated in this video is yes, the game is worth playing, the game is great, the game is awesome, there are still few things that I just can't go around. For example, the combat. So the actual physical boots on the ground combat is amazing. It's great. It's kind of buggy sometimes and it's kind of floaty, but it's good. It's a lot of fun. I made a few videos on it, and I will in the future. Um, but there's just it's lacking where you're only fighting versus AI because the world is just too big to actually put all these people together, and it doesn't really feel like you're accomplishing anything, even though you're like fighting for a settlement. It's just kind of weird. It's in a weird space. Um, next to that, there's stations that you still cannot walk inside of, or at least you can, but not really. There's a lot of ships that have amazing interiors, but you cannot even walk in the interiors. And there's still these small things that I feel like would make this game a lot better overall, because it would add so much to the atmosphere and it would add so much realism to it that if you're in that, you can just get out of your seat and walk around in your ship. I do understand from a game point, from a game developing perspective, I do understand that they cannot do that because, or they can't do it all the time because, these are huge maps that you would have to generate and create and all that stuff. So obviously, I do understand that it's not easy to do it, but I always hoped that they would add it. And now that we have all these amazing things, they haven't added it. So that's something that I'm sometimes thinking about that would make the game a lot better. Um, Something else that has bugged me, the amount of inflation, kind of, where people have so much money nowadays in Elite. And Anaconda is not really that big a deal anymore. There is ways to earn tens of millions an hour, probably even more. I remember the void strip mining, or the diamond mining, that was insane. They would like give you so much money, and you could buy it. You could buy an Anaconda within like the first 10 hours of playing. And I used when I mean this kind of sounds dumb, but when I first started playing the game, it took me hundreds of hours to get the first Anaconda because I didn't know what I was doing, and I was it just took so long to get all this money. And obviously the grind shouldn't be that crazy, but I feel nowadays, because everyone's money value and asset value has gone up crazy, the amount of players with a lot of money is now so much, but the ships have never really, increased in price. They're still the same price, which is not the biggest deal. I get that they wouldn't change the price, but because, how much is credits in value? How much is it really? I mean, you can buy, carrier. I don't have a carrier, and that costs a lot of credits, and you need to maintain it and all that stuff. I get it, but a 150 million ship is nothing, right? At this point. And I feel like it would be great if they were to maybe add specific high end versions of all the high end ships. So you get the Anaconda, and then maybe you'll get the Anaconda Mark II or something like that, where they would like up the price and make the ceiling a lot higher. Now, I do understand that if you want to completely upgrade the Anaconda or completely upgrade the Cutter or the Federal Corvette or the Type 10 for that matter, you would it would cost a billion or whatever. But I mean, some of these some of these players have like 50 billion. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy, and it's that's something that even though um, it doesn't really matter that much. It's just the effect that Anaconda has on a player is not that big a deal anymore. I remember flying into when I, like in 2016 or 15, I was flying into a station and then I saw an Anaconda and I was like, oh, like, man, if I can have that chip one day, that'd be so cool. And that feeling I feel is doesn't really exist anymore. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I mean you guys can let me know. Maybe a lot of new players actually have this feeling still where it's something unobtainable, but just in reach. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that's definitely a part of it. Um, Next to that, I mean, is the game still worth it? I would say absolutely yes. There are so many new updates coming. You got the Targoids nowadays. You didn't have those back in the day. You get all these amazing new updates. You get all these amazing new ships coming out. Um, the Mandalay. What is it called? I believe it's called the Mandalay. But uh, but I mean, there are so many different cool things coming, and I'm super excited for it, and I can't wait to see where the future of Elite Dangerous goes. And I've been seeing a lot of these type of videos where people talk about the future of Elite, and some people are very positive, some people are very negative, and I'm definitely more on the positive side. I think that Elite Dangerous can only grow, and the player base has always been steady around 5,000, and um, constantly. And sometimes it dips below 3, and sometimes it ups around 8. But for now, I think, especially with the latest updates that we had, with the addition of the Type 8, the Python Mark II, the Mandalay that's coming, and maybe 2 more ships even, I think that we have a really cool year ahead of us, and maybe 2025 will be the best year ever for Elite. Who knows? It's a very alive community. It's a very alive community. It's a great game, and I really think that that holds true. And yeah, so my verdict on this is absolutely yes. But there are a few things that, even though I've been playing this game for a long time and I've got a pretty old YouTube channel on this game, um, I do think there's a few things that they gotta add. Give me that Panther Clipper. I mean, I made a video about it in 2018, for God's sakes. Give me that Panther Clipper, please. Anyway, I just wanted to make this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in space. Cheers.